There are questions that can change your career immediately, but most people never ask them. Not because they don't know them, but because those questions force clarity, and clarity can be uncomfortable. We've been talking about the habits that seem small but have a big impact on your career. But here is the truth. Fixing those things is just the beginning, because growth is not automatic, and clarity comes from asking questions. Clarity comes from the questions you are avoiding. Hi, my name is Marian. I help immigrant professionals navigate the American workplace, grow their careers, and succeed with confidence, drawing from my own experience working in corporate environments. So today, we are going to approach this conversation a little bit differently. These are not just questions you ask your manager. Some of those questions you ask yourself. You must first ask yourself to get clarity, because if you don't have clarity, you won't even know what to ask for. So it's more like a self-assessment. And here's how you're going to use the questions. Some of them you're going to ask yourself honestly. In fact, all of them you're going to ask yourself honestly first. And then you take one at a time and ask your manager, your mentor, or someone already where you want to be. That is how careers shift. Okay, so here is question number 1. Self-assessment. Then take that question to your manager, to a mentor, to someone you admire, someone who is in a position where you want to be. Question number 1. What does success look like in this role? Start with yourself. Do I actually know what success looks like, or am I guessing? Because many people are working hard, but not necessarily working on those things, on the right things, right? So after you've asked yourself this question, then you ask your manager, your mentor, can you clarify what success looks like in this role? Because alignment changes everything. Now, here is question number 2. What does growth look like from here? And what would it take to get there? What would it take from point A, where I am right now, to get to point B? Growth. If you don't define growth, you default to time and effort. And that's slow. Growth is very, very much strategic. So you ask your manager, your mentor, can you share with me one thing I can do to grow? How do I apply myself? How do I apply myself to grow? Where do I go from here? Okay, so here is question number 3. Self-assessment, self-evaluation. What am I doing well? And where am I missing the mark? Start with yourself. Am I open to feedback, or do I avoid it? Because many people say they want to grow, but they don't actually want to hear what things need to change. Now, you take the same question to your manager, your mentor. What am I doing well? Because sometimes we need someone to tell us, right? So after you've done the self-assessment, go to your manager, your mentor, your trusted partner, friend in that same career, and you ask, what am I doing well? What do I do really well? Where am I missing the mark? What you don't know is what's holding you back. And most people are not going to volunteer feedback unless you ask for it. Feedback is not criticism. It is information you didn't have. And we say feedback is a gift. All right. It's perspective you couldn't see on your own. And if you can learn to receive it without being or becoming defensive, you will grow faster than most people around you. Right? So you take that same question, like I said, ask yourself, ask your manager, what one thing am I doing well, and what one thing can I improve? Now, question number 4. How is my work being perceived? This one is a bit uncomfortable but critical, because performance is one thing, perception is another. You can be doing great work and still be misunderstood, still be overlooked. So, same question. Ask yourself, self-assessment. That's one thing we don't tend to do. Like, take some time, think through it, and ask your manager the same. How am I being received? How am I being perceived? Let's go to question number 5. What opportunities should I be putting myself forward for? This is where everything shifts, because you can't wait. And many of us are caught waiting to be chosen, waiting to be selected instead of stepping forward. Let me share a personal story with you. There was a time I was given the opportunity to present at a senior leadership meeting many years back. It was a high visibility. That's the kind of moment that could change how I was seen. I prepared, I did the work, but when I got in there, I didn't know how to really navigate the room. And as I think back, I think one of the things that I should have done was to have, gone deeper to find out who was in the room and where they stood, especially on the topic that I was going to present. Well, I didn't know how to navigate the room, so I didn't get the response I expected. In my mind, I was thinking, maybe I was not ready to do this. Maybe I'm not qualified. You know, the inner critic and imposter syndrome all playing at once in your mind. And honestly, in that room at that time, I wanted to disappear. I wanted to get under the table. Well, days after the presentation, a senior leader pulled me aside and said, "Come by my office, I will coach you. Come by my office, I will coach you." And those words keep ringing in my ears. That was a gift, access, guidance, positioning. And ask me, did I go? No, I didn't go. Not because I was too busy, but because I hesitated, I held back. I just didn't know what to do. So I didn't go. And years later, that person became one of the most prominent leaders in that organization. That was a real missed opportunity. And that's something that I write about in my book, Breaking Through. Because many of us experience those moments and don't realize how much they shape your careers or our careers, right? So when you don't ask, what opportunities should I be putting myself forward for? You are not just staying where you are. You are removing yourself from rooms where you were already invited into. So number 6, who should I be learning from or connecting with? So important. Who should I be learning from or connecting with? Many people focus only on their work, and I've done that in the past. And I'm still learning and I'm improving. But careers don't move on work alone. They move through people. I want to say this again. Careers move through people. Careers move through people. If you don't intentionally build relationships, you slow your own growth and you slow your career. Number 7, what is one thing I should start or stop doing to grow here? What is one thing I should start or stop doing to grow here? Simple but powerful, because it gives you immediate direction. And ask your mentor, ask your manager. In fact, you can even ask your team member, one of your team members. What is one thing I should start or stop doing to grow here? Please take this question, ask your manager, ask your mentor, because it is powerful and it can give you immediate direction on how to accelerate your growth, how to reposition yourself. Before you go, let me give you something practical. Don't try to apply all 7 questions at once. That will be overwhelming. Every week, choose one question, answer it honestly for yourself, then take that same question and answer it in a real conversation. One question, one conversation every week. Or let's say one question, one conversation at a time. Because growth doesn't come from knowing more. It comes from applying what you already know. Growth doesn't come from knowing more. Yes, sometimes you need to know more, but it really comes from applying what you already know. I like to say, use what is in your hands. Use what is in your hands. Use these questions. Talk to your mentor, talk to your manager, and grow. Don't avoid them, because answering those questions honestly will give you clarity. You don't need more effort. You need better questions. But more importantly, you need the courage to answer them honestly for yourself, and then ask them in the right rooms, because clarity doesn't come from thinking alone. And remember, don't go alone. You can't go alone. It comes from conversation. So here's what to do. Here's what I want you to do. Choose one of these questions, ask it this week, and I want this to be a conversation. I want this to be a conversation between us. Come back and tell me, which question did you ask and what changed for you? If this message spoke to you, subscribe to this channel. And if you're already subscribed, thank you. Thank you. But take it a step further. Like this video, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs this message. Watch my other videos, the silence habit that holds immigrants back, and I said nothing, because your growth matters. You deserve to grow, you deserve to thrive, and I am cheering you on.